Good evening, everybody. My name is Taylor Roulard, and I'm a senior on this year's baseball team. I'm from Biddeford, Maine, and I'm majoring in exercise science. I'm here tonight to introduce head coach Will Sanborn, who will be presenting his friend, mentor, and former assistant coach, Robert Doyle, for induction into this year's St. Joseph's College Hall of Fame. Please welcome Will Sanborn.
Thanks, Taylor. I want to begin with talking just a little bit about my boss, and the coach's boss is here, Brian Curtin. Brian is really good at giving credit to others, and he often doesn't take credit. Brian's a tremendous leader in our athletic department, and he's a tremendous leader on campus, and his example of professionalism is second to none on this campus. So if we could just give Brian a round of applause. And that'll probably keep me employed for another year. Congratulations, Steve, Billy, and Joe, on your induction into our Hall of Fame tonight. It's a true honor, and it is well-deserved. I'd like to call Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Henry up to help me induct Bob Doyle. It's our pleasure to present Robert R. Doyle posthumously for induction into the St. Joseph's College Hall of Fame. Bob Doyle is also a member of the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame and served as pitching coach for 12 years from 1992 to 2004. And I believe that may make Robert Doyle the longest tenured assistant coach in St. Joseph's College history. Sadly, Bobby passed away in 2005. When Bob and I started together in 1992, I was a 28-year-old kid who certainly was not ready to be a head college baseball coach. But Bobby and I really fit Rick Simon's criteria. We would both work for nothing. And worth every penny. One of the nicest things about Bob, for me as a young head coach, was that he provided this calm and steady demeanor. And anybody who knew Bobby knows that's exactly what he was like. And that was just invaluable for me starting out. And it was also invaluable for our young players having to deal with a young coach like myself. That calming, steadying force was, I think, a reason for our success. Bobby was a real special man and certainly deserving of this honor. And there are a lot of special qualities that Bob had, and we're going to try to touch on a few of those tonight. First and foremost was the relationship that Robert Doyle developed with his players and particularly his pitchers. And Bobby was old school. Bobby was from a different era where you didn't say how you felt if you were a man. You just showed somebody how you felt with your actions. And I know our players know how he felt about them. He was a selfless man who never wanted the limelight, and he was a tremendously generous man. You know, John Scheinman and I were talking on the walk over, and he relayed a story I'd like to relay to you. When John and Susan's first child was born, Bobby showed up with a video camera that he no longer needed. And this is classic Bob Doyle. I think I still have his sump pump that he no longer needed. He was just very, very generous. Whether it be when our players are in Florida going out to eat and he would see a table and mysteriously the check would get picked up, or when he would drive our gear to Florida, load up the back of a U-Haul, attach it to whatever SUV he was driving, and we'd cram in all of our equipment, all the players' bags, and he would then drive to Florida. But before he drove to Florida, he'd have to go home and pack 9 of Lynn's bags into the SUV so that they could make the trip. The relationship of Bob and Lynn Doyle was also a great example for Lynn and I, for John and Susan, and for our players, which I think, again, it was just something that everybody cherished. Bobby was a tireless worker. That's what made him successful as a businessman. It's what made him successful as a pitching coach and as a family man. He was honest. He was sincere. He never pulled any punches. When he said something, everybody listened because he didn't say a heck of a lot. I was saying to Lynn Doyle, his wife, on the way over today as we walked over, that I don't know if he ever addressed the entire team as a coach. And whenever I'd, give my talks after the game and I'd call on my assistants, they would all have something to say except Bobby. He didn't want the limelight. Bob was reliable. You could count on him. And again, that calm demeanor was such a real key to our guys having confidence. And he was a mentor and a friend, not only to them, but certainly to me. And he was so dedicated to that pitching staff. Randy?
It's my honor to be able to say a few words about Coach Robert Doyle. He was a friend and a father figure. You could count on Coach to be direct, supportive, to provide assistance, willing to listen, and to usually have a cup of coffee in hand. His passion, ability to relate to players, and knowledge of the game made him an incredible coach. The respect the team had for Coach Doyle and the rest of the coaching staff helped us build one of the strongest pitching staffs in the region. Pitchers loved playing for him and coming to practice. We tried to absorb as much of his knowledge as possible and just enjoyed hanging out in the bullpen with him. I, for one, know my life would be much different if I never met Coach Doyle. When I thought of transferring during my freshman year, it was Coach who came to campus and talked all about the positives of playing and attending St. Joe's. On Florida trips, Coach Doyle and Mrs. Doyle would invite me to go out with them. We went to Nassau one year, we went out to dinner another time. Then after college, when I needed a job, I talked to Coach down in the bullpen once again, and he invited me to go out to lunch with him the next day. And we drove around to some of his businesses, and surprise, he offered me a job. It's just an example of how Mr. and Mrs. Doyle treated everybody as part of their extended family. All the players loved playing for him. I think Coach would agree, one of his biggest assets was the support he received from his wife. And to this day, Lynn Doyle remains one of the biggest fans of the team. Thank you, Mrs. Doyle, for allowing Coach Doyle to affect the life of so many players by coaching hundreds of kids from Little League to St. Joe's. Thank you.
And one of the nicest things about Bobby Doyle was that it was a package deal, and we got Lynn Doyle as well. Lynn's kind of maybe the second first lady of St. Joseph's baseball. Lynn Doyle, everyone.
Thank you, Will, for presenting this award tonight. And also a special heartfelt thank you to Randy for your wonderful remarks about Bobby tonight. Will, thank you for giving Bobby the opportunity to coach here. I can't thank you enough for all that you've done to preserve his memory here as well. From his jersey number on the outfield fence to the annual award in his name, it means the world to me and my family. I'd like to congratulate tonight's inductees, Billy, Steve, and Joe. Your induction this year is a reflection of the outstanding athletes who have excelled at this fine institution, St. Joseph's College. Congratulations. I think it's important to say that we all wish Bobby were here to receive this wonderful recognition. To accept this award on his behalf for his contributions to the baseball program is a real privilege and honor for me. My sincere thanks go to family members, friends, coaches, and staff who have come tonight. A simple thanks for coming, as Bobby used to say. Also, I wish to thank the Hall of Fame committee for choosing Bobby to be a part of the tradition of excellence in athletics here at the college. It's particularly gratifying that he will be remembered alongside players who knew him and have been inducted into this Hall of Fame. I think that those who knew Bobby would agree that he would not have been completely accepting of this recognition. He was humble in that respect. Even though he excelled as an athlete himself and was in the spotlight on many occasions, his whole desire as an assistant coach was to bring out the best in those he instructed. In fact, in almost every instance in his coaching career, from young kids to college men, he was an assistant. He knew his strength was to work in the background, and in that way those he coached found success. Having said that, I know that he would be pleased and very proud to receive this great honor tonight. More importantly, he would be pleased to know that he helped young men succeed on the ball field and in life. It must also be said that his relationship with the players, especially the pitchers, brought joy and satisfaction into his life beyond measure. Not only was he proud of them, he loved them. He really did. Finally, I would like to again express my gratitude to Will Sanborn, who has continued to make me feel welcome each baseball season, to his family Lynn, Morgan, Lincoln, and especially to Bob Sanborn, who isn't here tonight. It's Will's father, my longtime baseball watching buddy. I thank you for your friendship and your kindness to me. Being part of the St. Joe's baseball family has brought me joy beyond measure, and for that, I'm very grateful and always will be. Thank you.